Hi there, my name's Kicker Kalozdi, and this is the Can House here in New Orleans, Louisiana.
I'm Anne Kalozdi.
Yes. She's my wife. This is our house we built out of 7 shipping containers.
You can't ignore the origins of the house.
The way this house was done was using the original shipping container floors. A shipping container is 8 feet wide and usually 20 or 40 feet long. So our dimensions of our house, by combining the two side by side, is 16 feet wide, and then we go 2 containers back, giving us 80 feet in the back. A shipping container is basically a Lego brick. They're a very set of dimensions, and it's easy for me to put those dimensions on graph paper and figure out the layout from there. So the big joke was, I'm very much a child, and I still play with Legos, and now I'm getting to play with grown-up Legos. You know, this house is not a tiny home, despite people thinking, oh, shipping container house, that's cute, it's gonna be a tiny home. No, it's not, it's about 2,000 square feet. But despite that, we really wanted to make use of each and every single bit of space we could. Underneath the staircase here, not only a full pantry that goes all the way back in, but we have the dog section, and then we have a closet there for suitcases. This is where we store Chewy's food and water, and Chewy will go back there at night and sleep. You don't want to accidentally step on a food bowl when you're running through a kitchen. Anne and I travel a lot, but we decided since we got married to collect magnets from each destination we've gone. So because this is a metal house, we thought magnets are the perfect way to decorate our house. I was raised here in New Orleans. When Katrina happened, I lost my home. My parents were rescued after 4 days on the roof of their house. Our family business was destroyed, and that really left some deep marks. Now I'm an adult and looking to put down roots, and I was looking for a house here in New Orleans, and I was struggling to find a home that felt right. And right to me was a few things. One of them was the layout, the floor plan I wanted, one that I could work from. And more importantly, I needed a house that felt safe. For most people in New Orleans, most houses are, very, simple wood-sided houses, Creole cottages or shotgun-style houses. And I lived in one of those when I was renting a home, and it just, you could hear your neighbors. It felt flimsy. When the wind was picking up, I was always terrified the thing was gonna crumble. So I looked for a house that I could buy that was made out of brick or stone or concrete or something. And it just didn't exist in the city. And
with the other requirements that you had.
With the other requirements that were both a cool layout, but also affordable. And I couldn't find it. So the next logical step was, okay, let's buy a lot of land and build a house.
Kicker texted me one day when we were just first starting dating, a link to some container homes, and he was like, have you heard of these? And I was like, well, I'm from California, of course I've heard of container homes, I've seen the craziness. And he texts me back and he goes, I want to build one. I thought he was out of his mind. And then I came home one day and he had a piece of graph paper with everything all drawn out, meticulously drawn out, exactly what he wanted. And he explained to me how he wanted the loft for his office and this big open floor plan, and I was sold.
It made sense. New Orleans is a port city. We have shipping containers here. And I started researching it. They're metal, so you don't have to worry about termites, which are a big problem here. They're all using spray foam insulation, so they stay cool very, very easily, as opposed to a traditional construction here in New Orleans. And I got really excited. Things got real when the lot was purchased, and it's like, okay, we're gonna build this thing. Now let's do it. But who's gonna do this? Like, what contractor in the city can do it?
Well, so we started getting serious and we started looking at the numbers, and we had a budget set, and we were looking at how much, our big expenses were gonna be the shipping containers, the crane to move the shipping containers, the truckers, the foundation, these big things.
And then the percentage you have to pay a contractor.
Exactly, so things started adding up, and I was like, okay, we can be under budget with doing these things, it'll be fine. And then Kicker was like, well, the person who needs to build this is gonna take 30% of the building cost.
And that's 30% we didn't have. So we made that decision then and there. We had a very serious talk. Like, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it without a contractor, and we're gonna take this on, and we are gonna build this house.
But let's be honest, we don't back down from a challenge. I mean, it wasn't just, scraping pennies together. It was, we wanted to do something exciting.
It's an amazing experience having to control the process of setting up 7 containers in one day. It's a very expensive.
In one morning, and a couple of hours with a crane parked on our neighbor's lot that we had to get permission for.
And having to have a welder, and then having an arborist and landscapers, off-duty cops, a structural engineer, having to have all these people there, that moment to set all 7 containers was stressful because every hour it was going to go over was going to cost us not $1,000, thousands of dollars. So we had to make sure it all happened on time and flawlessly. And
it was just us.
it did get stressful, it was rough, and we stumbled a lot. And a 6-month project spiraled into a year project. Neither one of us have any experience in the world of construction. I mean, we didn't own a hammer, and yet here we are taking on the task of building a house from scratch. But, you know, we realized we have a good internet connection and we can look up YouTube videos and we can learn, and like Anne said, we will accept a good challenge. When I pitched this idea, she could have easily just walked away.
There were very big decisions that we had to make early in our relationship that required us to have a lot of trust in each other in order to find the right way.
That's when we realized that we weren't building a house, we were building a relationship. And the house kind of just happened on the side. We really tried to embrace the natural aesthetic of the shipping container. We are not the first ones in the world to build a shipping container house, not even close to being the first ones. But what we're trying to do a little differently with our house, instead of just sheetrocking over everything and covering up the floors with shiny new ones, we really tried to highlight these elements. We use spray foam insulation on the entire house, but on the internal walls, we don't have to insulate it from the outside. So it allows us to really show off this corrugated metal vibe. We wanted to keep the shipping container ceiling exposed for a few reasons. One, because it looks amazing. Having that ribbed structure kind of just looks so much cooler than a boring blank slate. But more importantly, it also gave us added height. And we were limited to 9 feet total, the dimensions of a shipping container. So we did not want to put down a drop ceiling, which means that we didn't have any ability to hide the lighting.
The electrical.
The electrical. That creates a whole nother element of complications because
And design.
And design.
You now have to choose where your electrical is going to run and what it's going to look like. Because people are going to see it.
I want to be able to walk from my bedroom to my kitchen in my boxers and not have my neighbors see me. New Orleans is a really claustrophobic city. We have small lots and houses tend to be built right up alongside one another. So having my windows up high allows me to have that privacy, yet let them stay open all day long. This is the furthest back of the house, and you can kind of see, once you can connect 2 containers together to create that full space, we have a nice 16-foot wide bedroom here. Like I said, we try to use a lot of reclaimed wood in this house. The doors here are barn doors from a farm, an hour north of here that were gonna be tossed away, 100-year-old doors. These end tables as well were also reclaimed. But we didn't want to have this house feel cluttered and claustrophobic. So by building the end tables into the wall, by putting our lights into the wall, it frees up the floor space that we just don't have that much of. Our bathroom, once again, using the concrete countertops, large shower space, the original shipping container ceiling there. If you have a vision, you need to completely follow that vision.
Inspect what you expect. Otherwise, it's not going to be done necessarily the way that you want.
We have these I-beams throughout this house. And the painters, the subs, they all wanted to paint our I-beams. Like, let's hide them, let's make them disappear. That's not what we wanted. We wanted to, once again, embrace the industrial nature of this house.
And somebody else may have liked I-beams that were painted white and disappeared into the ceiling,
we would
but
not have
that's
been
not our vision.
Despite what maybe some of the more experienced people might say, you've got an aesthetic you want, then embrace it. This is my studio, this is where I run my business. I'm able to sit up here, stare out at the beautiful windows, look at the cool memories from my childhood and stuff that inspires me on the shelf. What's also really cool about this space is you can really see that this is the shipping containers. You can clearly see where the 2 containers were welded together, where the seam has been, literally welded together. You can see our custom fabricated banisters that my wife and I designed. Something that we've been asked before is like, what's your favorite part of this house? What makes this house special to you? And for me, it's definitely that warmth and that gemütlich feeling, that feeling of, it's that Germanic concept of super warm and cozy. I love that cozy feeling we have when you have the light from the Edison light bulbs and the warmth reflecting from the wood and the big leather seat sofa here. Like, that is my cozy, happy place, and this is my home. And no matter how crazy the city is, whether it's work-related craziness or just because it's New Orleans, we're getting hit with another big hurricane storm, I feel totally safe.
There is a lot of warmth in here, but it's something that we built together, and that alone is just so comforting to come in here and know that we made this happen.
Every little element, every single weld, every single awkward door that we installed. Like everything.
We made that choice.
We made that
Like,
choice.
For better or worse, we made that choice.
Some people can hang a painting up on the wall and hopefully it gives them that feeling of home. But for us, it's not just the paintings that are the weird stuff we have on our walls. It's the walls themselves.